Welcome. This is the TST August 7th, 2014 webcast. And last week, if you were with us, we used the same tools, the OTC Encore, the OTC Touch, Genesis Touch, the Snap-on Verus, the X431 launch tablet, and the older Autel, I've got the number, one of you guys probably remember. DS708. And I am one of your hosts tonight. My name is G. Trulia. Pierre is absent. He's working on the road. Maybe he's even on the internet with us. And I have with me
Edwin Hazard, TST board member.
And John Baird, TST board member.
Okay, so these guys, well, Ed is a mobile tech, and Bear, he's a tech that works on real cars every day. And tonight we say what's going to happen here, this is the real world. None of these tools are on. We're going to put them on. We're going to try to get this done in an hour. We've never connected to this car before tonight. I'm using a long cable here. This long cable is from OBD2, the number 2, cables.com. It's a long extension cable that we're going to use to plug every one of these tools in. Okay? So if you have a question, you don't like something, we're not going to tell you what brand, you can kind of figure it out. We're going to start with the OTC Encore. So we're going to move some of these tools, they'll flatten them out, and we're going to get this zoned in. So I'm going to plug this in. Is your key in the on position?
Nope, it will be.
He's going to put his key on the on position. This is the real world. The car has a battery maintainer on it. And the Encore looks like it booted right up. You guys put these tools down a little bit, so it's easier for me to get a flat surface to work on. Okay, so it's booting up. What year is this car in?
It's a 2006 Pontiac Solstice.
Okay, so this 2006 Pontiac. It's a domestic car. I hit here to go to bay, and we're redirecting. Now this is the normal thing. Put on, where it goes. We'll find out, because right now it's in generic OBD2, and it says it's refreshing. I'm going to try to make it refresh even quicker. My time and your time is precious. And sometimes I'm going to pick the unit up, and the reason why I'm going to pick the unit up is it's easier for me to see than bending my fat head over the camera. So let me see here what's going on. No vehicle detected. Okay, here we go. Start. I think it had to be hit harder. You know, some of these you need the little piece to do or touch screen. This is the touch screen stylus.
Yeah.
So I don't remember all those technical names. They're too big for me.
Stylus.
Stylus. Okay. Guess that's, you know, I haven't gotten a haircut in years, so I guess that may have something to do with it.
I was going to say, remember your stylus.
That's it. So it says it's loading data, and we're probably a couple of minutes, and it looks like something's happening. So you have the same exact frustration if you want to move quick. It is what it is. Okay, so now it came up, and it didn't auto ID, so I'm going to take this, and this is what year was it again?
2006.
A 6. So I'm going to hit 6. And I'm going to hit Pontiac or General Motors, but I think they have Pontiac on here. Yep, there's the Pontiac symbol. You can hit Pontiac. And still the Solstice. And there's the base. And now it's moving quick. It's a 2.4 naturally aspirated motor. And Ed says it gets good mileage. This is Ed's car. And one of the things I'm going to do here is we're going to do, we like to start with OBD2 generic, even though I don't see it here. There it goes, came right up. Let's see what it does in OBD2 generic. A great place to start. We said this last week, but in case you weren't on, why? Every DTC is going to be there that's going to put the mill on. If you've got drivability, this is the best place really to start. And we'll look at DTCs first. And it came up pretty quick. And there's no trouble code, so Ed, you'd be happy to hear that. We're going to always look just for the hell of it in freeze frame, but some cars There may not be any codes, but it may be something in freeze frame that has stayed in there and hasn't cleared out yet. So we're gonna look there real quick. And it looks like it didn't like that, and it's kind of loaded. But we're gonna see, and then we're gonna look at monitor status. If all the monitors are not ready, this becomes very dangerous, doesn't it? Because if you're fixing the guy's EGR problem, and then all of a sudden, the evap that you never told the customer was not ready becomes ready, and the light comes on, the customer knows one thing. You paid to fix the light to turn it off. They don't know about anything. So we're having a little bit of a delay here, and it not working. I'm going to see if I can kind of get out of that. And it's not allowing me to do that. So let me look at the tool, it's trying to load stuff, and it is not allowing me to do that. Well, maybe you have encountered something similar in the real world. So we're going to go in and look at global again. It allowed me back in. Here's my monitor status. Everything looks ready on it, and there's some things that are not supported, like air conditioning setup, and no EGR installed. So it did that pretty quick. Mode 6, let's see what mode 6 tells you. If readiness is not set, it may not be correct. So we'll look at the other tools. Does it have mode 6 on? And it's taking a little bit of time.
Sometimes, G, when you go into ID a vehicle, if you tap the button faster than the tool actually loads, that'll give you a big lag time.
That is a very, very good point. And we all like being...
Patience is what is the key.
It's very poor on patience.
Hitting it once is good, hitting it 3 or 4
Okay, so I have here, mode 6 came up. It tells me there is the engine ECU. It tells me oxygen sensor. Everything is a pass. What you'd like to look at is if it's a fail, you want to dig in. So everything is a pass, it looks like so far in Ed's car, and a nice list there. So let's get out of that now. I'm going to hit the return, and let's get into, I don't see their health check, but there may be maintenance test. No, just brake light and maintenance test is that. I don't see the normal, run all the testing.
all system.
Yeah, I don't see all system. We'll do engine controls. So I'm going into the engine control here. Tells me what to hook up. Now this is on the manufacturer type of side. We have, there's right in front of my face, excuse me, all system DTC scan. So if we time it, it's finding the controllers. That's probably about 2 seconds in there. So we have someone timing it. Vincent is behind the computer, and he's timing this. We got about 20 seconds so far. It says it's building the list. Select the controller. So it can't go. You got to go from now, actually. Finding ABS controller.
This car doesn't have ABS.
So we're going to hit skip. Now it says building for seatbelts and airbag. So we're going to hit BCM. It's asking us a lot of questions on what to pick. Does it have a body cell communication? We're going to skip. Find body cruise control. Got cruise control?
Yes, it does.
So we're going to try BCM. It's having us select all this. Another one, a radio. Let's find the radio. Another body instrument, we'll do BCM. Body theft system, probably ECM on that one. Finding climate control, air conditioning, probably BCM. And now it's building a list. So for some reason, a little bit different than when you use the Evo. And I noticed this last time as well. We'll see if the touch does it a little later on. This one's asking a question. It says we're 10% done. We're probably about a minute and a half at least into it, right, Vincent?
Yes.
And now we're still at 10%. It's trying to read this. I bet some of the things I've selected is not correct, which makes this a lot more. So when you do the system scan, know the tool know the car that you're working on, and we'll see if they're Genesis Touch or the Snap-on or anyone else that has this type of check if it goes through automatically. Now, you know, we don't have in this little scan tool demonstration, we do not have the Evo here, which we've used, but we wanted to be fair to what we did last week on the European car with the same tool, the same stuff, so we left that out. Including, there's another tool that we'd have put in here, that's the Delphi tool, and another one, the Autoland Scientech iScan WT, a very, very good tool. You've seen them in when we do a scan tool shootout, comparing the OE tool against the other tools. And we usually condense them. We do the work the hours prior and we kind of give you, hey, here's what happened. So here we're doing it a little different. If you like that other version, so you don't have to, you know, see us take so long, well, you know, you can tell us that. We're just trying to help anyone out in the industry to see what these tools can do. I pick up this Encore quite a bit, I'll be honest with you. Same with the Launch and the Snap-on. You know, it's nice when you have them around because one tool will do something sometimes that one won't. And Ed, you know, you do this for a living as far as go diagnose cars for people. You know, what tools do you use? Can you tell us some of the tools you use? That are aftermarket besides factory tools?
Yeah, the hardest part is determining what tool to use, because I have so many different aftermarket tools too. But I'll use the Launch. I use my Snap-on tool. I do have like for generic stuff, I'll use the Bernie's tool, the eScan.
Works real well on OBD2 stuff, yep.
Yeah, especially for OBD2. You know, it's I have actually a couple of Snap-on tools, but you know, it's just it's what you're comfortable, you know, using.
And you learn after a while which one works, which one doesn't.
Right. For European Asian cars, I'll gravitate towards the Launch. But,
Okay, and how about you, Mr. Bear?
My tool that's been doing the first grab tool, it's been doing a real good all-around job for us is the Snap-on Solus Ultra. It's eliminated a lot of the need to go to the factory tool. It's been pretty darn good and it's very fast.
software is definitely getting better in the aftermarket
We're
tools.
doing good. Well, this is finished. It finished a little while ago. So maybe about 3-4 minutes, I guess. Right? Roughly how much, Vincent?
About 4.5 minutes.
4.5 minutes. And it tells us all these things. There's no codes in it. It's a nice list. Why do you want to run all system scan? You want to find out if there's any problems that you can make the owner of the vehicle aware of, so it helps them out and it'll help you out in diagnosing and fixing a car. And sometimes one system could affect another system, we have a real issue. All right, so let's get out of here. Let's see what special tests or data stream. Let's go data stream first. And this is on engine. We're only going to do engine because we got to move on to different tools. So now it says there's a whole bunch of different ones here. All data groups, or you can do specific. So here's all data groups. I guess you just hit go.
And remember, when you pick something like all data groups, it might take a little longer to load. Because
It says 24 seconds it's going to take to load, and it did it in 2 seconds.
wow.
So we have everything here, manifold pressure. We got a lot of different PIDs that are really on the screen. And you can graph them, you can make these things bigger, which is pretty neat. And you can go here, you can clear the selection. You can go back and look at evap data, select, and this is all evap data. It says 20-something seconds, it did it in about 4 seconds. So we have a whole bunch of stuff, and they have the easy record button, by the way, that you can just hit right on the bottom. You guys can't see back there.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, any questions on it so far?
There's a question. Someone wants to know, does it have a VGA connector
Does it have a VGA connector?
to view on a larger screen?
I don't know it. I see a USB, I see a card.
I don't see it on this
I
one.
don't see it on here. And to be honest with you, I've never put this on. This one has. Their big tool does. I'm not sure if this does. There may be a way through the USB to do it. So it gives us some real quick info right here. Let's see what special tests. Let's go out, and special test is bidirectional function. And by the way, this thing is working real quick. So we got a bunch of them. Let's see if there's something with engine output. Let's see if we can make this fan come on. AC clutch. I picked the wrong one. Put fuel loop, fuel system, fuel loop. I want to do AC clutch so we can hear it click. Okay, so here's the bidirectional. This is always a good thing to start with, is bidirectional tests work on a car or not. So here we go. Hear that click?
Yes, it does.
That's off. Put it on again. It did it. So that gives you some confidence that the rest of your bidirectional control would work. Now, I don't know if it has oxygen sensitive test, cam position actuator, dash lamps, the mill light. I can make the mill light. Can you see if the mill light's on or not? And we'll try some of these menial things on other
Yes,
ones.
it is.
Okay. Is it now off?
Mill light is now off.
So it works quite well. So,
Let's keep it off too.
yeah, well. So it seemed to work quite well. It has automated system tests. Ah, that's what I did that. I think the other one was manually. It still says this here. I'm going to back out of it. Because I did, and that's special tests. Okay, so in the face of time here, we're going to shut this one down.
So I got one quick question on that,
Sure.
G, and maybe people out there would too. I believe the Encore uses a Android system, and not, I know it's the phone, I don't really know what that means other than it's faster and in some cases better than Windows 7. I know that that's the word, but is that beneficial to us as a technician, or it
Well,
controls the cost?
the
on-
Android system that the Encore uses is pretty easy. You know, it's pretty fast. I have an Android phone.
Right.
It works pretty good.
Mhm.
Now again, like everything else, you could run into a couple of different problems. It seemed to work quite well,
Right, yeah.
but you guys be the judge, and gals out there, you be the judge of what you see. So now we're going with the MaxiDOS. And we're going to hit the button, put it on. But this is from scratch. It's coming on.
It doesn't look like it has a VGA port on this one.
It does have USB. Does have, I know, a updated from the internet, the
Yeah.
cable.
Ethernet.
Yep. And of course, they have a newer version out. And in case I didn't mention this before, I believe I did, both OTCs and the launch have been updated last week. Autel's about 6 months back. They haven't sent us a new one yet. And Snap-on is on the last version. They're supposedly sending us a new one. So we're going to go USA. We're going to hit GM. Okay, it's built in. We're going to do automatic diagnostics. And we'll see what happens.
I have a question.
Okay, as we're waiting, it's 10-2. It came up with the year of the car. I'm going to hit yes. And it has all the different systems. So it doesn't have a health check, but I'm going to go into engine controls. And we'll stop there because we have a question.
Ben asked, how much do updates cost on each?
Ben asked, how much the updates cost on each? Well, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I would say check with OTC, check with Snap-on, check with Autel, check with Launch. I know some companies, I think Launch, when you buy it, has what? A year?
Yeah, when you update the launch tool, you get a 1-year subscription, which covers all the models that they offer. Snap-on has updates twice a year.
And you have to pay for it. And OTC, I think, is you pay for the year. I'm not sure when you get the tool if you get 2 years or not. I'm not 100%
It's
sure.
varying.
It varies, I guess, on which one you buy. Autoland, Scientech, iScan WT, Those I know when you bought it, 3-year updates for free, which is worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's look at this here. I'm into diagnostic trouble codes, display codes, working pretty quick. No codes, I hit OK. I'm going to go into data stream next, data display, engine control, and engine data. Taking a few seconds there. Remember, the OTC came up in about 3 seconds. This is building a list. Here's the nice list. We can go down. We can move to the top, like with OTC. There's a way to graph it as well. I can show you a graph on it. You can do text. You can do analog. There's the gauges. We can go back to text. So it has quite a bit of decent functions here. Let's see, escape this, and let's do bi-directional on it. That way we can get everyone back to watching the bowl game rather than watching us. And there's a whole bunch of different tests here that they have under their engine control, similar to OTC. Now, let's see if there's any special functions. Engine control module. Output controls. And let's see, malfunction indicator. Loop status. I must have this thing with loop status. I picked it again. Sorry about that. I'm looping. I wonder why I'm at Loopy Plaza. I'm looping. Okay. So let's do malfunction indicator lamp. You stay near it, Bear, and let us know what's going on. I'll tell you I haven't done anything yet.
Yeah, you have a lamp on before you've done it.
Okay. I'm going to command it off.
You have turned the lamp off,
And I'm going to put it back on.
and it's back on.
Beautiful. And let's see the air condition.
What about fan? You got a fan?
Doesn't have fan. Start a relay.
Trying to do the same thing on.
Yeah. And here I don't see air conditioning. I see heated oxygen sensor. Ignition relay has some of it, no AC. Maybe they put it somewhere else. Maybe in the TST, engine speed control. Not sure why it's not in here, but I don't see it. But it seems to work pretty fast. We're pretty much done with that tool. Any questions on Ortop?
And just to let them know, they do have a newer tool out that's in a pad format.
That's right. The newer tool is a pad, very nice looking tool. When you shut your tool down, by the way, you shouldn't be disconnecting from a car without shutting your tool down and unplugging and plugging it on. Sometimes because the code can come up. It's just a good precautionary measure. Of course, it's Ed's car. Well, we ain't worried about all that stuff.
Nice, very nice.
Now, we're going to go to the launch tablet. Nice unit. We're going to turn this baby on. It has this little key. Oh, did I turn that on? There we go. We're going to turn it on. It has this little dongle. How much is this, Ed, if you leave it in the car?
It's about $500.
$500 in my hand. You don't want to lose it. This is why I connect everything to this long extension cable. Because been there, done that. Now the launch pad is booting up. Probably 25 seconds so far. Remember? Yeah.
Someone made a comment that the AC may not be under the engine controls. That's referring to the...
That's possible.
Could be on the body computer.
It could be under the body computer. Someone said
The HVAC.
on the last one, on the Autel, that's a very good point, that the AC control may not be under the engine, it may be under the body. That's a strong possibility. Okay, so it's all booted up. We're going to go to diagnostics. I think I need the little doohickey.
It's called a stylus.
Stylus, that's it. We're going to do diagnosing via Bluetooth. We're going to do select vehicle. We're going to take American. We're going to go GM. We're going to use the latest version. Hit OK. And we're connecting pretty quick.
You'll notice on this tool as well that you have a power light and a Bluetooth light.
Is that in the picture?
Okay.
Power and a Bluetooth.
So you got a little red light for power and a blue light for Bluetooth. Both have to be operational for this thing to be working correctly.
Very good point, Ed. Very good point. Okay, so let's do, it has something called a fast test. Let's do fast test. Gave me the VIN instantly.
That's cool.
And by the way, the last four numbers, you should always look there. Came up with check online for solution for this program closing. I don't like to see that. Reading data. Please wait. So this could be, this is like their health check. And by the way, what's nice, you leave this on, updates are a breeze. What a big improvement over
One click update.
One click update, love it. Great, very good job at launch. And by the way, again, we're not here to sway you to get any tool. You make the decision. Any questions or comments?
This tool does have a VGA port.
Yes. And a HIM port, yeah, you got a lot. And
HDMI.
USBs. Yeah, it's a really nice setup.
Laptop.
Not sure what's going on here. I'm going to give it another 30 seconds. It says reading for data. Please wait. That's what it says. It's not my bad Bronx English.
So once you power that up, Ed, you're connected to the internet and you can do your
Yes.
updates with one click.
Once you power it up, you're connected to the internet, is what Bear asked, in case you can hear.
What it does is it looks at the programs that you have and it'll update the programs that's needed. So if you have 40 programs at different car manufacturers and 35 of them need updated, it'll update those 35 and leave the other ones alone.
Yeah, which is really nice. It's a
Do you
real
know-
nice
Do
tool.
you know what's happening? I mean,
Oh yeah, it says right on the screen
what-
how far along the update is going and everything.
Yeah, I'm going to go back in the sake of time. For some reason, that ain't working. So nothing's working. It's almost like it's locked up. I'm going to go home. I'm going to try to start diagnostics again. Reading for data, came back to the same thing. Not sure what's wrong here. We may have to shut this thing down and go to the snap-on because and then come back to this because it is not functioning. Maybe it needs a reboot. So we'll do a restart, stick it to the side. Let's get that snap-on running. So there, just pop that baby down somewhere. Let's do a reboot. And we got Snappy on. And the snap-on is booting up. Here it comes. And yep, we got to plug that in. It's a very good idea.
This is a scanner module that's used with this, a wireless module for the snap-on.
Yeah, just don't leave it in the car.
Yes, that's more than 500 bucks.
Nice setup. It's a Windows-based setup. There's a lab scope on here for a channel, information system. Nice setup. Same with launch, sends you out to different things. The launch one you can do programming from. OTC also, you can do programming with their box.
You can program if you have a pass-through box with this.
Yeah.
It's on the software.
Okay, so now this is coming up. And I'm going to change the screen here. As soon as I see the diagnostic little icon. Diagnostic suite. Okay, so we clicked it, we're going in it. Can you get that decent view from there? Okay. Any questions while we're waiting for it to come on? So from boot up time to now, it's taking a couple of minutes, just the way it is. It's a computer. You know, the old day of the brick, you plug it in, put it in, and it came on, but doesn't have the power this has. Remember, with the computer, there's a difference. You know, here we just went to Windows 8 tablets that we're going to be running like the eScan off of. You know, we're running some of the information, Motor Logic, Mitchell, and we'll stick all data on there. And I got to tell you, tablets are so much quicker. They come on instantly.
Yeah.
That's one good thing that Apple did for the industry. You know, there's a Microsoft tablets. They got Microsoft to finally stop all this booting up stuff, things in the background. We're going to hit scan it. It comes up. We're going to go to full list of vehicles. I don't know why it always goes back to Pontiac, but we're gonna go to Pontiac. Yeah, to the left on Pontiac. And I'm on a Pontiac. So here's Pontiac, bingo, goes right in. The year again, Ed?
2006?
Short-term memory this guy has here. And Solus right there. 2.4. And hit OK. I mean, pretty quick when the thing moves.
Yeah.
Now it has code scan, anti-lock brakes, it has 6 different modules. We're going to do a code scan first, see what it does. Hit continue. You know, pretty fast tool, but again, if you look at the time we spent with the OTC one, pretty much
One
unsinkable.
little thing with this tool is that when you do a code scan, it automatically saves that information in another section of the tool. So if you accidentally erase those codes, you still have the code stored for you.
Now that's a good point, Ed. And look at this. It came up with code scan, systems detected 6, engine 0, airbag code 1, body control module 0. See, he didn't know he had one, but it says it here, Ed. Instrument panel 0, radio 0, anti-theft 0. And then engine
Airbag
no
code,
code, it says, and body no codes. So that's pretty neat. Well, maybe we'll clear it out. It will be nice to deliver one. I don't know. So we're going to go with that. We're going to go with that.
Maybe not.
Okay, so we're going to do data display. We already know codes. Engine data. Wow, built that list pretty damn fast. It's nice that you can go like this and make the graph in 1, 2, 3. You can also record is always on the bottom, which is great because I can stop this.
Yep.
And then I can just go back and, you know, unrecord it, play it, the whole bit. So it does that very, very nice. And let's see what it does with output. Leave that fuel trim misfire and then, where's that? Functional tests. And they do inject the balance, evap bay test, very important to do. Output controls. AC relay. So we're waiting to see the same thing we had before. And right here, it gives you a nice data list. You can select data too. You're going to put it on, hear it?
Click. Again.
So that's nice and quick. And we'll do the mill light just like we did before, if I can find it on the list.
The other thing too on all these scan tools, the special functions tests, sometimes they have different wording for what they're called. Special function, special test.
Special ed? That's what they do.
That's not usually on your scan tool.
Oh, okay. But they do have that. Ed brings up another great point there, really, because know the terminology of your tool. Even certain things on or off doesn't mean it's putting it on, but certain things are in an on or off position. Like
Normally on or
normally, exactly.
open and closed on vent valve.
You got it. Okay, check engine light off,
Better be off.
Yes, it is.
on,
Yes, it is.
airbag deployed. No.
Ow.
So, nice job. Yes.
Got a
Question?
question from Edmund. What version software is this?
This is the last version. I don't know what the latest one is. What is the latest?
The latest one out there now is 14.2.
Yeah, this is not. This is a version before. We said, in all fairness,
Probably
Snap-on,
13.4.
this is probably 13.4, I believe it is. It has not been updated.
14.2?
14.2 is the last one out there.
Available, and this is one behind, so it would be 13.4.
Right. And by the way, no matter whose brand tool you have, get the updates.
Yeah.
Now, I know you hate paying for the updates, but guess what? They fix a lot of the different things that didn't work. You know, input, beta tests. They have people working on these things. And guess what? When you get the update, it's usually working. That's one thing you want to do with any tool. We don't care what brand it is. All right, so let's get out of this. We want to try that. Which was the last one we had the problem with? What do we got?
The launch.
The launch. Let's bring the launch back. Do I really want to exit? Yes. And now, let's plug this in there. We're going to get this in. Okay. Our snappy is winding down. We're gonna put the snap-on, the launch back up. Thank you very much, Bear. If I only had these hands all day long, what I could do with 6 hands, I've got it. It'd be great. All right, so now we're connected again. We're plugged in. Here's our little dongle. It's on, Bluetooth, red. We're going to do diagnose Bluetooth, select vehicle. It's a GM. Version 4410 was their latest version. Hit OK. Connected, please wait. Comes up with the serial number of the car. Verifying DBS scan.
That's the cartridge, that's the Bluetooth dongle.
Now it went in, manual select, fast test, fast scan, freeze frame. What do you think I should do, manual select?
Yeah.
Or should- so now what's the year, 2004?
6.
It's not bad, I think. I'm just testing you guys. to see if you
All
pay
right, that's why I
attention.
figured there was something.
Oh, 4th digit of the VIN. Is it letter
N.
N like in Nancy?
M like in Mary.
Oh, M like in Mary. I don't see M on our list.
You said 4.
The 4th one.
1G2 Mary.
Ed, can you please verify that I do not see M? AJKLNSTUV.
Yeah, huh?
And, oh, there's another page. But there's no M.
Nope.
No M. Maybe that's why it didn't connect. Maybe this is a car that, somehow is not in their system.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll hit Pontiac. I'm gonna hit Pontiac, but it says 4th digit.
Doesn't ID it, automatic ID.
Come back. Let's look at this together. Let's go back.
Did you select Pontiac?
I did select Pontiac. Should we do fast test? Because when I selected Pontiac, we did all that. There's the VIN. But it did this last time. And here's what it said. So, for some reason, they have a warning. Maybe I picked their old version. We'll reboot this one more time. We'll go on to the OTC. It has a warning message there, so, we will have to reboot, and then when it comes up to that software version, I'm going to pick the last version. That's the only way around when you have a problem. Now again, when you guys are doing this in the shop, very frustrating, right?
Yep.
But that's the real world. That's what we told you. We're not here to, candy coat something. It really happens, it really happens. That's why I like leaving 2 versions. Do you do that?
Oh, yeah.
I like leaving 2 versions on it.
Yeah.
And Vincent, we have another question?
Yes. This question is from Ben. He asked, will the fast scan check all the systems?
I believe the fast scan does.
Supposed to, yeah.
Supposed to. So the fast scan, does it check all the systems on the launch? I believe it does. We will go back to that. It's booting back up. Right now we have the OTC Genesis Touch. This was updated a week ago. It has the pod, which is nice. And then, by the way, if you had their old Pegasus, the Pegasus old piece is actually the Honda factory scan tool.
Yeah.
So I use mine as a Honda factory scan tool. Buy the card, get the subscription, and you're ready to rock and roll. So this thing, by the way, is a J2534 for programming. You can do programming. Okay, so here's the touch. Many improvements with the update, I can tell you that. And I think this is touch screen. I think that's what they call it, the touch. If I'm not mistaken, so I can use my fingers. I think it is.
I think so.
Okay, so we got about 5-10 seconds.
If you want.
10 seconds.
Style
We're going to start new. We may have the, okay, so manual, automatic. I'm going to do an automatic ID. My finger goes the wrong place. Okay, searching. I didn't see it was searching, I hit it twice.
Remember, patience.
Error with communication, is that lit up? Keys on, right?
Yeah. PC community.
I will try auto ID again, it's a searching.
Now we got good communication.
Looks like it's talking. Then stop. So we have no communications, I'm going to do a manual. Manual entry. It's an 06, I only remember this now, I don't know why. I usually forget. We're going to go to Pontiac. Not Jaguar. Like that. Okay, I made a little mistake there, hit the wrong thing, you have to start back, 2006. Let me scroll down here and find Pontiac. Okay, here's the Pontiac symbol. So the Pontiac. Let's see if it has Solus here. Solus, what digit is an M? Solus, whatever, you get the idea.
Summer solstice.
Okay, let's go generic first, see what it does. Communication error. Yeah, it didn't save it in there. So we try it again. I'm sorry I'm turning the scan tool away from you. Can you guys verify that I'm picking this?
Yeah.
Gee, it froze.
And we have all system scan, I see that. The control system, body, engine. I know it's in there. So we're trying this. I clicked on generic OBD2. We're waiting. And no communication. Becomes very frustrating when that does happen. Wires plugged in, right?
Yep.
Try it one last time. I'm going to start new. Then we'll go back to launch. Maybe, maybe a good idea to do a shutdown and reboot. Go back to launch because we're not getting anywhere with that. So if you don't have all these scan tools in your shop, and you see the keys on, we're getting the red and the blue. We'll try this again here, and then we'll probably bring that back in a few seconds. Let's try diagnostics. We're going to do Bluetooth. Sorry, vehicle. Yeah, I'm sorry.
One of the things I like to do is when I boot up my scan tool and I get to the start screen, I wait a couple of seconds, like 5 seconds, before I tap on what I want, just to let the tool finish booting up.
And you're probably better. I'm an impatient character like most of us. So you really should wait. I'm going to go to version rather than 4.4. I'm going to try 4.3.9. Because sometimes I notice something happened, you might
get
give it the download or something.
Yeah.
You know, and I beat it, there's the VIN number, verifying that, but it said that before too, right? You had the same problem?
Didn't have the letter M.
Let's do fast test. Fast test don't support this vehicle. Please select manual entry. All right, well, at least we got that.
That happens on some vehicles.
Yep, 2006, and it's moving along quick. Passenger car. It's a Pontiac, and there's an M, and there's the engine,
Gotta learn
and
to
there's
talk
the
nice.
2.4. There's the engine module. And display DTC, so you did something, maybe with the latest download. And if our friends from launch are watching, you know, I'll try to re-download it tomorrow, but maybe they don't even know about this. Not a popular car. This was the same as the Saturn.
Yeah.
So it says, please use the DOC dots connector for testing. Okay. I don't know what that means in English, but no trouble codes. It did that good. We don't want to clear anything, so we want to go back. We want to go to data. Okay, so it has engine data, and it's coming up real fast. Okay, it's building 26, 40%, 50%, 60%. Okay, came up. Here's all the stuff here that you can see. There's engine speed. These are all data bits, so if you click OK, there's all the ones you can either put on the list or take off the list. You can hit select all, or you can do, you know, select page. That's all of them, just to show you. And now if I hit OK, my data list becomes big. So you can select the ones you want. They make it pretty easy. Look at all the data. That's good. Let's go back. Let's look at bi-direction. So here's a case where if you didn't have the old software version, a lot of people don't keep the old one. I like keeping it, just in case.
And you can always download the same version over and over if you think you have it correct.
AC relay. Engine must be off, yeah. Let's turn it off, on.
Doing that test.
Doing it real good.
I know.
So, excellent. We're going to exit. We're going to try to check engine light. Let me see what that is here. Probably page 2. I better go in the dash lamps and see if it's there. Malfunction indicator light. So just put it on the dash lamp. See, so we talked about different terminology. There you go. Okay, I'm going to turn it off.
I'm gonna turn the light off.
How about now? On?
Back on.
Off?
Back off.
And on. We just like Bear putting his head in and out of the car. So, it works quite well like the other ones, work pretty fast. We'll give the OTC one last shot and see what we got. Any questions on the launch? Oh, by the way, you can print everything out, which is real nice on this. Has a little printer right up top. I do like that, because you know what?
Show the customer.
You can show the customer instantly, and that is a big, big plus.
You might want to mention too, G, I'm sure you mentioned it before, but you can also access your information systems right from
Yes.
your Benefix, whatever you want to put on there, or all data, so you can get your information at the car.
That's true. In fact, I think when you go to the website, I gotta look here, the web browser, right? Is that where everything is in? Yep. You have a whole bunch of different icons up top. And I know one of them is also TST. So you,
Driver's seat diagnostics.
right, so you can go, and if you wanted to hit, you know, Auto Data, Google, whoever you want to do, or put anything in your favorites, it's all here. And it's nice when you're on the internet, there's all data. So if I threw my account information in, it'd be right in. Nice setup. Okay, let's close this one down. If we can go home, exit system, turn it off, and try one last time.
Remember to put the dongle back.
Put the dongle back. $500, we put that dongle back. Which one? I think the OTC, right? So we need the box and do it. Okay, we're almost done, believe it or not. We're going to be on schedule tonight. A little bit different than last week. And by the way, you can see our box is on, if someone can hold that up. We're going to select vehicle here. Let's try auto ID for the hell of it. It says searching. Unable to detect vehicle. Please collect Kate. We are connected with Kate. So now we're going to do manual. Now, amazing, the same software, you know, as OTC, same company. So this becomes a dilemma for many guys in the field where you bought something, if this is your only tool.
That's frustrating.
It's very frustrating. I must say this, and it has the car VIN here. If you need more than one scan tool, doesn't matter what brand you have, do not buy the same brand scan tool as the one you have. You have an OTC, don't buy another OTC. You already have it, right? You have a Snap-on, don't buy another Snap-on. You want to have different tools. Why? Everyone makes mistakes. These guys, all of the companies try to do the best job they can do, and they're doing very, very well nowadays compared to years ago.
Oh, yeah.
We went in, let's see if it'll go into engine test. And engine controls. Seems like it's building a list. And if you have that other tool when someone is not connecting like we see here, well, guess what? Now we can read DTCs. So now it's working all of a sudden. So sometimes you need to reboot. You really need to reboot it.
Yeah.
And we're going to do an all system scan in a second when it's done doing its little thing. It's still curling around here. It's querying for different computer information.
And this thing does work with the launch styling.
Yes, does. I'm using the light. It has its own, but we didn't pull it out. Any questions there while we're waiting? No questions. Okay. Well, it is still curling around for DTCs. We know there was none of them. Well, it's taking a little time. We're connected with our Bluetooth. Just got to make sure that that's connected. We're connected wireless to the internet. No communication. We'll try an all system scan for the hell of it. Building it. And this one, by the way, is doing the same thing. Let's try DCM. Finding some controllers. Skip controller. Okay, so we're going through body computers. And we're skipping some other ones here. Now, it's looked like it's compiling stuff. It's at 0%. And it does not seem to be moving. We'll give it, in all fairness, we'll give it a minute. Because it should have at least one. Okay, there's 10%. So like Ed said, be patient. But if you see nothing in a minute or so, you may have a problem connecting. So it's going along. And by the way, all these different tools you can check out, you know, on the manufacturer's website, what it does, comparing it. There's nothing like using it. We're giving you a comparison here, so hopefully, you know, maybe if you don't have the tool dealer that leaves you the tool, you could kind of get some feeling here. Now, last week, we hooked up the same exact tools to a Mercedes. There was no clear, if you want to call it a winner or who did the best. None of them really did a great job. They did a job. And that's kind of tough. If you work on a lot of Mercedes, you're going to need to buy a different tool. That's what I would suggest from after last week, and that was a 320.
One of the things I would do too, guys, is if you can't connect to a vehicle, don't condemn the tool yet. Hook it to another vehicle.
Correct.
See if it connects better. If you still have problems with hooking up to multiple vehicles, then you might start suspecting that you have a tool problem.
Right.
It could just be a software issue.
It's true. And always tell the manufacturer, you know why? If you just scream and yell and don't tell anyone, how are they going to know to fix it? So it's very important to give feedback to all these companies. If you're afraid to do it, and you can tell me what year, make, model car you were working on, obviously we have connections with different companies. We'll be more than glad to forward the information. You need the VIN number, the year of the car, the make, and the problem you have, and what version software you were using. And if you know, leave us your email and your number, all these companies are very good. They'll get back to you. You know, it may be something that's oversight. there's some sort of an issue
That's how they
somewhere.
fix tools a lot of times,
Yeah.
by your feedback.
And by the way, let's not forget that OE tools, factory tools, I've seen issues with. Okay. When I teach for New York City, brand new tools with brand new cars, I've seen a lot of things over the years that don't work right. And maybe the next update fixes it. So be careful. We're at 70%, 78. Almost done. 78 or 6, whatever that says there, the bad eyes. 82, thank you. I moved and I can see the 8 now. It's great getting old, let me tell you. Okay, so it's still checking all the DTCs. It's all done. All the controllers, nice list of different controllers here it went through. Some of them they're telling us are not available. Some no communication. So we're gonna hit done. Let's see if we can go into a data list.
Now, if it doesn't have that particular thing, it could come up with no communication. It doesn't clearly state.
But I would think here, honestly,
Yeah.
what's happening is this is not communicating correctly with the vehicle. Because even now when I said done to get out of it,
Yeah.
there's something wrong with the software. Apparently, there are other tool works. Someone must have left something, file, I don't know.
Right.
Not a software engineer, but we can see that's still not doing that. So we're gonna kind of, look, we're gonna end exactly on time. Are there any questions at all, any comments?
No, but we may want to apologize to the audience that none of the chat questions have been streaming through any longer.
No chat questions have been coming through?
Yeah, I get it in there.
In there? No, you got chat questions in there or not?
Yes, but no, it's frozen here.
But you're on in there, you see what we're saying. So, do you have any questions in there you can bring out?
Yes, they're speaking to one another, but we can't get the questions for some unknown reason.
Okay, so can you tell me what some of the questions are?
I'm going back and forth.
Okay, we had a little issue for some reason on the master control computer that usually gives us all the questions. For some reason or another, it's not coming up. So Doreen, we have another computer as backup. We are reading through questions there. And we apologize for that. We'll answer the questions. I'm going to take a look in the meantime and see what is going on here. So Ed, do you have anything to tell these guys? And we're still waiting for that to do something. Where's that at?
I think too, Ed, on the Snap-on, some people complain because they only do their updates twice a year, and if they have a problem, they gotta wait for the next update. But I believe there's patches that are available if you go online that some things, is that correct? Or some things can be correct, you don't have to wait until
Yeah.
the next, I've heard of that, but I wasn't sure.
Every once in a while, they'll put patches on the Snap-on site, but your tool dealer will have access to the patches too, so he can update it on the truck if need be.
Oh, someone just posted. They can't hear you, Ed, there a little bit, so speak up. And that's probably not Ed you can't hear Bear.
Right.
So just speak up whatever he said and the people are interested in talking about.
No, I just was asking Ed, and he confirmed that sometimes people complain with the Snap-on tool that the updates only come out twice a year. So if there is a problem, you have to wait
Half a year.
half a year, but they do put patches on the
On the website?
website, and like Ed said, you can do it yourself.
So
or-
let's give them a quick recap in case they didn't hear that. You know, what they were discussing was Snap-on has updates twice a year. Some people don't like that because it'll take half a year, but they have some patches that they put up there. So Bear uses that tool a lot, and you see we had a no communication problem right here. So if there are no other questions, we'd like to thank you for your time coming out. Don't forget, in a couple of weeks, we got Pete Meyer up here with the Motor Age TST webcast on ignition. So make sure you tune in. I believe it's on Thursday night. Pete will kill me. I forgot what actual day it is. I think it's in the 20s. So whatever day a Thursday is in the 20s, we should know this. You get our emails. 21st? Doreen says she thinks it's the
At
21st.
Loopy Plaza?
At Loopy Plaza, we're Loopy, what can we tell you? But check your emails, and please give us your feedback. We do thank you for your time. Hopefully this has been helpful to you. Have a great evening.
Good night.
You can put all the tools out there. Put them all up there. We'll fade out with all the tools.
I shut it right out because of the fact that.
Oh, you did? You down?
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
we're good.
It froze up on
Don't
us
worry.
for a while there.
But you were still
And then-
transmitting.
Yes, but after that, we couldn't see chats.
When
And
was that?
then
That
you
never
did
happened.
something and you kind of
When
revived
you were
it.
scrolling through the chats,
Yeah, all of a sudden it came
it
back.
popped
Yeah.
up, but we still couldn't.
We couldn't communicate, we couldn't
Navigate
type
from there.
back.
Did
and
you
that
ever
has
notice
never-
where this was been? Looks like
He
you're still
was
in the
watching
green.
it, yeah, he was watching
Did you look
it.
at this? Did it ever go into red?
No,
No,
I'm gonna check.
Good.
no, he did really good, Vincent.
Very good.
You're hired. Pay's not good, but.
No, it
Yeah,
doesn't.
zero. Zero is really good. Good job.